What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch, and today we're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Imavov. We're going to be looking at the main card opener, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Raoni Barcelos. But before we get started, don't forget to like that video, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get right into it. So we got number 11 ranked Umar Nurmagomedov. He's 15-0. He's 26 years old. He's 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. He is currently undefeated, and his last 3 wins were over Nate Maness, Brian Kelleher, and Sergey Marazov. And he's going up against Raoni Barcelos, who isn't ranked, but he is 17-3. He's 35 years old. He's 5'7" with the 67-inch reach, and he's coming off a decision win over Trevin Jones. Barcelos, he's a very powerful striker. He has very quick hands. He likes to throw really good combinations. He has a really nasty uppercut. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also did some wrestling back in his day. I do think he will be the better striker in this matchup, but I think the biggest question is the same old question when it comes to Team Khabib is was he able to stop the takedowns? In his last fight against Trevin Jones, he did look really good on the offense. He was really able to find his takedowns and kind of smother Trevin Jones. The only issue with that is Trevin Jones is not on the same caliber when it comes to the wrestling as someone like Umar Nurmagomedov. Because, Umar, he's a southpaw wrestler, but his striking is still very solid. He's got some solid hands, but it's really his kicks that makes him very, very dangerous. We saw that in his last 2 fights. Not in his last 2, in his fight against Nate Maness and the one before. His kicks are very, very fast, and some of them have no tell, so it's really hard for fighters to see. Just like all of Team Khabib, they've kind of adopted father's plan, and they all rely very heavily on the wrestling, and this includes Umar. His wrestling is very similar to his team's, where it's a ton of chain wrestling and a lot of focus on control, a lot of wrist control. And I think it will end up being too much for Raoni Barcelos. Barcelos is no slouch when it comes to the jiu-jitsu, but I think it's his wrestling that's really going to get him dominated. I do think with his experience with jiu-jitsu, he might not be able to get tapped unless he gets very tired. We saw him slow down in his fight against Victor Henry. But if he doesn't, I think it's Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. That's what I think. But in the comments down below, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm underestimating, a veteran like Raoni Barcelos? He's always very dangerous on the feet. Or do you think Umar Nurmagomedov is going to absolutely smother him? Let me know down below. And yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. Do not forget it. Tune in. Check out our other videos. We're doing every other fight on this same card, so go ahead and check those out. And yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. Don't forget to tune in, and we'll see you next week.